this beautiful lady from Finland, maybe you will think she's an actress and she's acting in Hollywood. No, she was a model before. She's very, very cute and elegant and beautiful. And, I love Finland very much. I was there 15 times. So I don't know, because some people think I'm from Finland. This is the place I love. Her name is Elisa Heikura. Very beautiful name, reminds a little bit Japanese. Elisa Heikura. And Elisa, she is specialist, developer of people. She is teaching people soft skills. She is IT specialist, but also she is specialist in soft skills for people. And since, Elisa, we have you in our studio, and I'm so happy to see you. My first question to you is, I know that you are the specialist in this imposter syndrome, and you even have a course, online course that can help people. What is this imposter syndrome? Is when one voice in your head saying, you're not good enough, you're not specialist, you're not that beautiful, or maybe you're not that smart. A lot of people ask me this question, and I have no idea, really, no idea how to deal with that. Tell us, please, what to do with that.
Well, it's good to first of all recognize that it is not a syndrome. So if you have those thoughts, you are not broken or there's nothing wrong with you. You're just simply being curious and being doubtful whether you have what it takes to do the job that you're asked to do, or the role or the part or whatever it is that you're starting. And those thoughts often come on when you're starting something new or something you're not complete, which is basically our whole careers nowadays. We're always starting something new or something difficult. So it's important to recognize that there is healthy amount of doubt, healthy self-distancing when you're thinking about what you're going to do. But then if it starts to lean towards an end where it stops you from reaching your dreams or taking on a new role, or it makes you hyperventilate and anxious, and maybe even you might even have panic attacks, that's how severe it can get. If you lean towards that end, then you should do something about it. You should start thinking about it. And there are lots of good books and resources which you can study, but basically it comes down to whether you know yourself, whether you trust yourself, and whether you're merciful towards yourself when you are failing and when you are learning and when you are building the skills that you need. So it's good to recognize that it's not a syndrome, it's a set of thoughts that we have come to know, to think, and something that we get stuck to, and we sometimes need a little bit help to get ourselves over it.
I see. But let's say, it's very easy to say, okay, you need to be, to trust yourself. You need to believe yourself. Let's say I'm a film director. I'm director and producer of the movies. And I will think, is my movie good enough? Can I do it? Even I did it already 25 times. How to speak with yourself and what comfort we can give ourselves to support. Especially it can start when the action, for example, public speaking or in front of many people. Like, are there any tips how to put these doubts down?
Yeah, of course. First of all, if you're really, really anxious, like physiologically anxious, it's really important that you start to breathe. Like, it sounds ridiculously simple, but that's the thing. When we get anxious and when we start to panic, it's really, really important that we calmly breathe, and then that we notice and name. Like, you can name these thoughts, like, now I'm having imposter thoughts, now I'm anxious about this new thing. And when you explain yourself in a calm manner what's going on, it's so much easier to deal with the thoughts than if you're just simply panicking with them. Like, the more you go through them, the more easily you start to recognize that, these are imposter thoughts that I'm now having. So naming and speaking about it is one thing. The second thing is that I hope you have somebody you trust and you love, that you can tell that, hey, I'm about to go to this really tough situation, and I'm having these thoughts, and to have somebody who will not downplay it. Because what we often do, we're like, don't worry, and you're such a good person, and it's gonna be okay, and that doesn't help us when we have imposter thoughts. That merely makes us think that, oh my God, I'm fooling you too. Even you cannot see how bad I am. Instead, if somebody's telling you about their imposter thoughts, if you are somebody's loved one and they are coming to you with their insecurities, try not to downplay, try not to brush it away. Instead, be like, that must be really hard. And what makes you think so? And please tell me more. And I'm here for you. And the more they talk about it out loud, the more they realize how ridiculous their own fears and thoughts are. And it makes so much more easy for you to get over it when you have sort of realized it yourself that I'm making no sense. Like I can hear myself and I'm not making any sense. And then if they let you give advice, then you can say like, hey, I believe in you. I know you can do this. You've done this many times before, haven't it? And it has always went well. Like, let's do this. And I'm here to pick up the pieces if it goes badly. That might happen, but I'm here for you. So instead of trying to make them feel better, just try to be there for the person. So if you are having the anxiety, try to reach out to somebody who knows you well and who is able to be there for you. So breathing, naming, talking yourself really slowly and calmly, and being merciful. Like if you are having imposter thoughts, try not to beat yourself about it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having imposter thoughts before this important thing. That only makes the anxiety worse because you're being rude to yourself about the anxiety, and so you don't get out of it. So try to be really gentle. Like, it's not your fault. This happens. It has happened to people who are professors and, like you said, actors and actresses and people who have done marvelous things. So it doesn't really matter how accomplished you are, you still might feel these feelings and have these thoughts.
Absolutely. And I'm surprised sometimes you talk with very confident people who did it 1,000 times and they're saying, every time I have it, every time I have it, I'm introvert. But when I start doing it, it's disappearing because a lot of people, they're introverts, but they are great speakers. And, like, for example, Charlie Chaplin, we know him, but he said that I was introvert. We cannot believe because he's so active, he's so animated, he's such a great artist. How can he be introvert? But he is. Angelina Jolie said, I'm introvert. A lot of very famous people, they said, yeah, we perform well, but our first moment is we are scared and we are afraid. Even it's very difficult to believe in that. Tell me, please, why you decided to help 1,000 developers? You already have the name, you already have the figure. What is that motivating you, Elisa?
Well, I had to aim for a large number because I figured that if I tried to help 3 people, I tried to make them perfect, and that's not very helpful because people learn in their own rhythm and they are willing to grow, especially when it comes to soft skills, which are skills related to our emotions, our communication skills, our interpersonal skills, our self-awareness. Those habits have been with us since we were children. And it's sometimes really hard to get rid of bad old habits that we have had for years and years in our lives that come from our parents, from our siblings, from our friends, from our teachers. So it would be impossible to try to make somebody perfect. Even I'm not perfect. I've been studying this for a long time, and every day I find more things to learn and more things to practice when it comes to soft skills. So instead of trying to focus on a small amount of people, I try to help a lot of people to get a little bit better, because when they get a little bit better with soft skills and communication skills, when they know themselves a little bit better, it has ripple effects. So one person affects many people around them, which affect many people around them again. So the more people learn, the more they get better at these things, the more people benefit around them. So the more I can help, the more the world gets better. So that's my reasoning. And the higher the number, the more motivating it then is.
Of course, big goal, big goal. You help a lot of people, you feel efficient yourself and you feel proud of yourself. That means that you're doing a very good job. People in Finland consider to be a little bit cold. This is how people think in the world, because let's say Arabic people, Spanish people, they're very hot. Russian people, they say they never smile. About Finnish people, they just say that they're very, very slow and very... You agree with this or no?
I don't know which is the most diplomatic answer to say. Yeah, I think if you compare us to, for example, Spanish people, we are really slow and cold. But if you get to know us, we're not like that at all. I think it has something to do because there's so few of us. There's like 16 per square kilometer. So that's like ridiculous amount of people. We have a large country and a very small number of people. So we have a lots of personal space, and we tend to know how to be alone and to be silent and to be calm and quiet and all that. But then there is a temperamental side to Finns too, and a warm side. So once you get to know us, we can surprise you.
Yes, because Finnish people, they're great friends, but you need to know them. If you don't know them, yeah, it might look that they're cold, but they are not cold. I'm the witness to that. My next question about tricky discussions. A lot of people say a lot of topics make me uneasy. I cannot, let's say, if a woman, she's not married and somebody will ask you, are you married? She is immediately in the depression. How many kids you have? Oh my God, I'm not married. I don't have kids. What is do you have Oscar award? Oh my God, I didn't have Oscar award. Are you in the Forbes list? I'm not in the Forbes list yet. So everything is very bad. So if you have any tricky discussion or unpleasant topic, what to do?
Okay, in those situations, and I'd say that in communications in general, the best thing you can do is to know yourself really well. It's like every pressure, every tricky question, every uneasy discussion comes from the root that we feel that like we're not enough. Like there's something wrong with us, that we're not enough the way we are. I'm not accomplished enough or successful enough or pretty enough or rich enough, whatever it is. But the truth is we are already perfect the way we are, and we can still accomplish great things. It doesn't mean that we have to stop achieving things if we're happy the way we are. But the more you know yourself, the more you know what you value, what's important to you, the less those questions will then do damage, because you don't care. If somebody asks you whether you won an Oscar and you know your passion is to do documentaries or your passion is to do indie movies, you're like, well, no, but I do what I love and I'm good at it, so bid it. So kind of the more you know your own values and your own goals in life, the less you are affected by those type of questions. Also, if it's somebody who wants to fight with you, or you have a rival of some sort, or any tough boss you have to deal with, or any of those things, the more better you know yourself and the more unease you are, the more at ease you are with yourself, the easier it is to be in those situations calmly and confidently. And it all boils down to the question, like, who am I? What do I want in my life? What makes me happy? What makes me content? What are my values? And when you know those things, all communication situations get easier.
That is absolutely, but I cannot imagine Finnish people will be fighting over something. Is it ever possible? I think that they're so diplomatic, they never fight. They will say, oh no, please, you, or only after you, please, you are the first. Are people fighting?
Yeah, we do fight, but we only fight
over what topics? No, or what are the topics of fighting?
We fight over personal space. If somebody's intruding our personal space, we might fight over that. I know there are rival neighbors in Finland who have even gone to court because somebody has crossed a line or a border. But in addition to that, if I think about workplaces, for example, or business, I think we fight when it comes to honor, when it comes to respect, when it comes to crossing somebody's boundaries. It's hard to cross a Finn boundaries because we are polite, but when you do that, then you know that you have done that. So we tend to protect ourselves and our loved ones. So you can fight over that.
So let's say if you get married and you have a family and somebody from your relatives will come without invitation and start opening the things that you have and maybe trying them on, or it will be considered as very rude, I think.
Yes, that might cause an actual fight.
You see, I have the feeling what you can never do in Finland. It's no, it's not allowed. You cannot do that. It's not allowed. Okay, my last question is about bad programming. You were saying, I studied your LinkedIn profile, and you said that sometimes when you think about something bad, it's because you already think something bad of that person. It's already bad programming. How you can talk with that person if you will not believe. One of my friends, I don't want to tell you the name, she told me, Olga, soon I will be divorced with my husband. I say, why? Because soon he will come home. He will say, why did you buy these golden spoons? They're very expensive. When he will tell me why I bought these golden spoons, I will say, oh, you are so greedy. And then I will divorce him because he's very greedy. And imagine he came home and he said, why did you buy this? No, he said, how are you? She said, I'm perfect. Everything is good. How was the day today? She said, very good. I did some shopping. You don't like the fact that I bought golden spoons. Anyway, they divorced course, now she's remarried. She has a very beautiful family. She's very happy, but everything happened according to her program. So my question is, what is bad programming?
Bad programming is a way to behave that we learned when we were children, basically, because most of the things that we do is something that we learned early on. Of course, we pick up bad programming also along the way from colleagues or bosses or cultures or whatever, but most of our bad programming is from the childhood. And I don't mean that our parents messed up. Some parents mess up, most parents mess up a little bit. But the thing is that as a child, we interpret things in a very weird way. Like if you tell a child that they have made a mess, the child might start to believe that I'm messy. Although that's not the case, they just made a mess, and they somehow think that if I made a mistake, I am a mistake. And from that, we learn early on all sorts of ways to cope, to please other people, or to not make any fuss about ourselves, or to make a lot of noise to get attention, all sorts of habits that we gain when we're small. And as you said, it's we have these beliefs that things are going somewhere, or some people are like something, or we have beliefs that I am something, and then we act upon those beliefs, even though they might not be true at all. Like you said, that the husband came home and asked how she was instead of why did you buy those spoons. But if we are wired to believe that they think that way, that they mean those things, then that's how they start to dictate how those discussions go, even before we've had those discussions to begin with. So we should become really aware of our behaviors and our programming, and to learn to undo those bad habits and then reinforce the good habits, so that we have more healthy and more sort of beneficial conversations with one another and relationships with one another.
But let's say if it's happening in the team, you have a team now, especially now there are a lot of virtual teams, and you're helping 1,000 developers. So that means you have to work with a lot of people to help them with soft skills and everything. And in your team, there is somebody who is very nasty, very difficult to work. And you know that the discussion will be unpleasant. And you know that your even values are different, but you have to work together because it's so. What to do then? How to behave?
Well, the most important question to begin with is to ask ourselves, what do I want? Because often we operate from another perspective. We operate from, I have to get along with this person, or I have to make them see my point, or they are really bad. We're judging them for being who they are. We're justifying our bad relationship based on their behavior. But if we can get past all that and we can get to the question, what do I want regarding this problem? What do I want with this person? Most often we have the response in us already. It's like, okay, we have this project. I want this project to go well. He or she is in my team and I want to get along with them. So how can I get there? Well, I might start with something a little bit more softer than, why didn't you do this like I asked you again? Because that will make them only go defensive. And that doesn't take the conversation anywhere. But for example, if you turn it into a question like, I noticed that you had difficulties providing the result that we had discussed earlier. Is there something I can help you with? Is there something going on? Is there something I don't know? And you're not accusing them of doing things wrong or being bad. You're trying to figure out what's going on, because there's often things that we have no idea. It might be that they are getting a divorce after buying golden spoons, for example, or maybe they're feeling unwell, or maybe they have lots of stress at work and therefore they're nasty. People are never, or almost never, nasty on purpose. There's something going on there. Like, people in general are good, or maybe I'm just being naive, but I have come to believe that people in general are really good. So if they are
absolutely, Elisa, I agree with you. Even if you take a murderer, even if you take a gangster, at the end of the day, no, really, he's working. This soap opera, this to all bats. It's what's the name of this? It's like when a professor who is sick with the cancer, but he becomes a gangster. In Russian, it's called "Во все тяжкие." Now I cannot remember the name of this. So, Breaking Bad, my God, Thank you so much. Breaking Bad, yes, Breaking Bad. This guy, he wasn't bad at all. He was actually trying to save Breaking Bad. He was trying to save his family. And this is the drama, how he becomes a murderer. And it's a lot of things. Do we support him or not? But he's a good person. He's trying to save the family. He loves people. He's dying. And before dying, he wants to save the family. So actually, that is right. And the most important, especially when you're shooting the movie, and the team is 70 people. Of course, they're creative people. All of them are talented. They need to show their charisma, their character, their talents. And you want them to work together, no against each other, because we have one goal. Imagine if when Brad Pitt will start fighting with Angelina Jolie and they will invite George Clooney, then it will be not a movie, it will be a fighting ring, because all of them are incredible talented. All of them are incredible, handsome and beautiful. You see, that's why I understand. So maybe we should think about why, and not why you didn't do again when I told you, but how we can do it together.
Exactly.
Or maybe I can help you, or do you need something for it to be accomplished? Maybe it's you who forgot something, by the way.
Exactly.
Maybe it's us who forgot, maybe it's not him. Maybe we forgot, but we think we told. It's also possible, by the way.
It's absolutely possible that it might be a misunderstanding. I thought I was being clear what I wanted and needed, and I thought that they understood, but they didn't, and they didn't ask, and I didn't explain, and now here we are.
You see how? No, that is true, especially when you are from different cultures. Maybe something is okay. You said in Finland, all people, they like to protect their territory. In Japan, there is no territory. When I was watching Sakura, when all the people are watching, it's called Hanami. They are sitting under the trees and they're watching beautiful pink Sakura. People were sitting like me and you, like the distance like now, it was half a meter. And I was shocked. How can I see it when the person is next to me? I don't know who is he, but it is Japan. They get used to be packed, and that was the only waste. But it's shocking for us. Also in Russia, we have big spaces like in Finland. If somebody comes less than 1 meter, it's shocking. We get used 5 meters, 10 meters, 20 meters. Yeah, this is the way how. So, but maybe behavior like that, other people think that we are not polite.
Exactly. It's like, why are they so cold and so distancing? Why don't they come closer? Is there something wrong with me? Am I smelling bad, or what is this?
Can you imagine to what conclusions it can? So I see it's very diplomatic job. I want to tell you, Elisa, thank you so much. Your name is little bit sounds Japanese, Heikura. Is it a Finnish name?
Yes, it's a very Finnish name.
Nothing to do with Japan.
Unfortunately, no. I do love Japan though.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful. I want you to reach this 1,000 developers, and I will be happy, if people will address to Elisa Heikura. She's very good in soft skills, especially for IT people and for people who are not in this field. And I'm sure that people in Finland take your advices, and all other audience will be happy to meet such a beautiful lady, Elisa Heikura. Thank you so much for being with us. How to say thank you in Finnish?
Kiitos.
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 Oh, yeah, of course. It's kiitos. Kiitos. Thank you so much. I was very happy to see you. Thank you.